fans are back, and nothing will change. Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday night, and last week at this time, I was super hyped. Well, okay, not as much. I was worried, because what first hurt my excitement for live fans coming back was Cesaro not being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But WWE did that right, putting the briefcase on Big E and not Drew McIntyre, which was best for Drew McIntyre to save him from, getting booed. And then, of course, also, I was getting more and more hyped up, feeling that NXT was getting its mojo back. And then I watched this show. Did WWE really, purposely write this show for a live audience? Was this the right way for WWE to bring back their audience? It was a show, again, that just knocked my excitement for SummerSlam from up here, boom, 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 to almost dead at the bottom. Because once again, despite the fact this character is right on the money, I should just say the only thing that matters, the only good thing going into SummerSlam, for what I can think of off the top of my head as of now, is John Cena and Roman Reigns. We have no Becky Lynch back yet, which I thought we would have by now. The whole Raw Women's Division has been turned on upside down. We're not getting another dream match for SummerSlam. Reason why? Roman Reigns. We'll talk about that when we get to the WWE Championship. And, worst of all, we had the entire brand of NXT literally buried on this show. I'll try to keep my cool and save my energy for that. Because like I said in my Money in the Bank review, I wanted to act like I had not seen this episode of Raw yet. I wanted this to act like, I had not seen Raw, I did not have a sour taste in my mouth, but after watching this show, and I'll have to update this graphic again for next week, this show, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I mean, there were some things to me that just was what it was. I mean, one thing I'm going to rant about at this point to me, it is what it is, because, well, it's not going to be exactly what I had worried would happen, but I'm going to drink up. This is just water, I promise, and get ready, because I'm about to tear this show apart. A powerful thirst. What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I am here live for my live review of Monday Night Raw, the July 19th, 2021 edition of Raw that took place at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. The first Raw in front of a live audience in 70 weeks. The first episode of Raw, remember, that was canceled, was supposed to be here, live, in Pittsburgh. And I had tickets to go to that show, but unfortunately I could not go. Now, there is a live event here in Pittsburgh on Saturday, but unfortunately I cannot go because I am going to my girlfriend's brother's wedding. So, I cannot make that. But, I don't know if I even would go, even if I was free. One, I don't care about live events. They're pointless to me. Nothing really happens. And would I really want to spend money to watch Monday Night Raw after a show last night shows that even with a live crowd back, nothing is going to change. Nothing at all. They have to bring in a John Cena, a Goldberg, just to get the reactions. They got the biggest pops of the night. It's sad. Again, have to bring back legends. People past their time to draw viewers on this show. But let's get into it. I don't have all night. I have to go to work tomorrow. So I am going to tear this show apart limb by limb. It's going to be a slow pace, old school match ending on a hot tag, if you know what I mean, for this live review. That's what it is going to be. But first, let's check the chat of live on this channel. And we've got Mark. And Mark, my good buddy Mark here, warned me on Twitter last night not to get my hopes up. And I gotta admit, I did. So I am staying with Mark on this as I say, I am not gonna get my hopes up about Becky Lynch returning until her music hits. Not doing it. Not doing it. No, 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 no. But Mark says he doesn't get why they didn't have Cena do his promo on Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Oh, I know why. They needed viewers. They needed viewers, so they advertised John Cena for Raw. They gave the title to Nikki A.S.H. Yes. Yes, Mark, they did. We will talk about that. I'd rather have seen Keith Lee beat Lashley and get a title shot at SummerSlam. Oh, I would have too. I would have too. Definitely. What a joke. No Scarlett and they buried Shh. It's the biggest part of this video. The biggest talking point of this video. We'll get to that. We will get to that. At least Vince finally kept his promise to Jeff Hardy. There's that. And stop having a certain somebody come back. We'll talk about that as well. Let's get this review, though. Let's talk about this show, this glorious episode, this glorious shitfest, which is Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about it. So the show opened up with John Cena. Comes out, says how he missed us, he missed being in the ring, he came back for the fans, and he came back for Roman Reigns, challenging him for the Universal Championship, not for to be a 17-time world champion, not for the usual methods, but it's because he flat out said it. Roman Reigns is an asshole who needs to be knocked down the peg and realize his gimmick is overhyped, he's overexposed, blah blah blah, this and that. Basically just, said the facts of what Roman Reigns is. He wants to, put Roman Reigns in his place. And he will be there on SmackDown Friday to speak to Roman himself. And he cannot wait. And honestly, neither can I. Because, again, if Roman Reigns was literally still stuck in the rut he was in for how many years, and he in the promo wars that him and John Cena had, and John Cena just destroyed Roman Reigns on the microphone back then, imagine how much better they're going to be now. I mean, the match is going to be good. The build, though, I cannot wait. These two, again, like I said before, if they tore each other to shreds on the microphone verbally for that build for that match at No Mercy in 2017, with Roman Reigns in the right gimmick in his right element now, imagine what they can do there. So that I'm excited for. And then out came Matt Riddle, and him and John Cena had a little bit of like a bro-off, it was, or something like that, which was, odd, and I'm pretty sure, that one close-up video of him going, bro, was going to be a meme, maybe. I almost actually put that as the the thumbnail for this video. But I couldn't because it wasn't the biggest story coming out of the show, even though I still feel like the one I used was not quite the biggest one because something else happened. Him and Cena shook hands, and unless it was piped in noises, Matt Riddle is actually very over with the crowd right now. Which, even though I hate how he's being booked, I'm happy that, he's still over with the crowd, as he deserves to be for sure. But then he had a random tag match with, he teamed up with the Viking Raiders, took on AJ Styles, Omos, and John Morrison. And the match was whatever. But then, towards the end of the match, Miz was sitting there, and then I think it was Matt Riddle stole the dripstick, and he sprayed Omos in the back when he wasn't looking. But then he handed Miz the dripstick and ran away. So Omos, off distraction, thought that it was Miz who squirted him in the back, which, why would, Omos want to kill Miz over being sprayed by water? So Miz tries to get away, and then Styles tries to, go after him also, leaving John Morrison in the ring and being hit with the Viking experience. And because of that, we're getting another match with a rematch with AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. Whatever. That is what it is, basically. So we have that match, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the end of that, and then the beginning of the build towards AJ Styles and Omos taking on RK Bro at SummerSlam, probably. Just do it. We also have a backstage thing with Jackson Riker, who says he has in store for Elias, and Elias gets in the ring, but Jackson Riker interrupts him, and they have a Symphony of Destruction match, and I didn't care. I don't care about Jackson Riker. I don't care about Elias. I mean, yes, it was nice to see the crowd actually react to him and say how WWE stands for Walk with Elias. To me, honestly, they should just made Elias the face again and Jackson Riker the heel. I mean, I get it. Elias is good at being an asshole, but he also can be a pretty darn good babyface also when booked right. Like, the first time he was a face for like 2 months, it was, they barely gave him anything to do except the fact that he sung, "Oh, Bobby Lashley sucks on Lana's tits." Just kidding, didn't sing that, but when he was saying, "Oh, Bobby Lashley sucks," and that's when they had that stupid ladder match with the guitar at the top of the ladder, and the winner had to grab the guitar, which is so dumb. But the second time around, he was a face. I thought, he was at least, a little more comfortable, but then they brought him back, and then he was going after Jeff Hardy, which, newsflash, we all knew it was not Jeff Hardy who put him in that accident, but yeah, he still had to blame Jeff Hardy for it, even though it was so obvious that it was Sheamus who set up Jeff Hardy, but, so they have this Symphony of Destruction match, and I literally didn't care. Jackson Riker won after some big suplex he did with Elias to the tables, and then he wins the match. Who cares? Like I said, I've never been a fan of Jackson Riker. I never even got him in NXT. I don't get him now, and I'm definitely not going to be rooting for him as a babyface. I'm not. So we got that. And then we have a backstage segment with Mansoor and Mustafa Ali, and I guess apparently Mansoor has been inspired by Ali, so they've been feuding, now having a random tag match next week. I mean, you could just turn Ali face again, and even because him being a heel again is kind of pointless, since Retribution just crumbled big time and would like pretend never happened. So making a babyface him and Mansoor, like a babyface tag team, maybe, I guess. Who knows? Sheamus also apparently is being told he has to defend his United States Championship against Humberto Carrillo, even though that and Bobby Lashley's open challenge was a championship contenders match. Not sure what the heck that even means, but probably just a way for him to try to call it a non-title match. Well, they still called it a title match apparently, but no, they're calling it non-title match, I guess, but they're calling it champions contenders match. I don't know, getting technical, that just drives me nuts, WWE. But Sheamus complains that he has to defend the title against him again, but they claim it's because they beat him down, and and Carrillo wasn't there 100%, even though I thought Sonya Deville was being a heel GM or whatnot. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense on the show. But then we have this. So I was thinking, okay, Becky Lynch was going to return at Money in the Bank. She did not. I thought maybe if not there, she's got to be returning tonight. She's gonna be fighting Charlotte at SummerSlam, right? Right. So I thought we would see Becky return in this championship coronation ceremony she was having. She came out and boasted about being the new Raw Women's Champion and blah blah blah, this and that, about how she's the opportunity and Rhea's the opportunist, blah blah blah, she's the best ever. Rhea came out and asked for a rematch, which Charlotte declines, even though apparently she had just said she would fight anyone, anywhere, any place. And Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville come out and basically say that, you said it yourself, so we're going to have a rematch tonight. Which makes Charlotte unhappy, and she attacks Rhea Ripley. But like I said, didn't just like a month or two ago, Sonya Deville was basically just giving Charlotte everything she wanted. They had that pointless suspension they gave Charlotte, and then next week, oh, I'm sorry, okay, you're good. And like Sonya obviously favoring Charlotte, giving Charlotte opportunities that she really did not earn. But yet, I digress. And again, like I said, match with her and Rhea was great. There was a finish. I'll take how it is. It's whatever. So they're setting up that main event, which I thought, okay, it's the main event that's gotta mean Becky Lynch is returning at the end of the night. Why else would they save the women for the main event? Because Becky Lynch is returning. Well, at this point, let me put it this way. I'll say this. I didn't think the show was super duper bad the first 2 hours. It was more so that third hour where, to me, everything just tanked. So after this, we didn't have a random non-title match where Natalya and Tamina defeated Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler by pinfall, with who eating the pin again? Oh, that's right, Shayna Baszler. And they're teasing some tension. The crowd was, rooting for Shayna. And Shayna was like, I've had enough of this. Now, ever since he came along, we've been screwing up. It's all him. And I'm thinking, okay, please have them turn on Shayna, and Shayna goes by herself. Please have her turn on Shayna and this tag team. No, Nia Jax turned on Reggie instead. She turns on Reggie, headbutts him, and leaves him in the ring. Then, here come the 24/7 goons chasing after the current 24/7 champion, Akira Tozawa. He gets in the ring. Reginald then hits some fancy move, and he wins the 24/7 title. And basically, he does a couple, crazy stunts, which were cool, I'm not going to deny, to avoid, like Drew Gulak and the Lucha House Party and everyone else who is, in the low card 24/7 title hunt, R-Truth. And he does some fancy moves, which were cool, but do y'all really care about Reginald? Because I don't. I really don't. 24/7 champion now is Reginald. Sheamus then defeated Humberto Carrillo to retain the U.S. title. And, of course, Damian Priest is watching on, so we're probably going to get a match with Damian Priest and Sheamus at SummerSlam for U.S. title. That's actually fine by me. I'll take that. Here's where the show start going into a different direction. And let's first check the live chat. Mark said he would have had Charlotte beat Rhea clean while she was celebrating. Becky's music hit came out, grabbed a mic, gets up in Charlotte's face, and said, I want my title back. Yes, please. And it's right also, whenever Charlotte came out for her coronation, the fans are chanting Becky, and then Charlotte said, Becky's at home breastfeeding. And Becky Lynch, first off, changed her Twitter location to saying always in Charlotte's head. And then she also tweeted something out saying, yeah, I may be home breastfeeding, but I'm still the most over person on this women's roster. Which is pretty darn true. Well, Bianca is, up there as well, because, she's doing excellent as champion so far, I will say, and super over. But yeah, and then the show would have ended with Charlotte and Becky staring each other down. Exactly what it should have been. Or it could have been, Becky coming out after the DQ or something like that and making a triple threat at SummerSlam. I don't know. I'd be okay with a triple threat with Becky, Charlotte, and Rhea. It's not what we got though. But let's talk about where the show started to fall. So we have Bobby Lashley come out to the ring. And first they talk about last night and how he did all the talking needed by defeating Kofi Kingston. MVP insults the fans, and then Bobby Lashley issues an open challenge. And it's like, who's going to take it? And there was a long, long pause before the person who answered the open challenge was no one other than the Limitless One himself, Keith Lee. And not as big of a pop as I did whenever Big E won the title, but I got pretty darn excited to see Keith. I was so happy to see him back. Again, with him them being kind of secretive of like not much rumors about why Lee has been off TV since right before Elimination Chamber, when he was supposed to be in that triple threat match with Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle for the U.S. title. And I think he was supposed to win the U.S. title there, but that didn't happen. But I, he kept tweeting stuff like, I'll tell you guys at some point why I've been gone. And I was worried. After what happened with Brody Lee, I was worried something was going on with Keith Lee. But seeing him back, seeing him healthy, made me feel much better and much happy. And he had a good match. He had some times he shined in that non-title match with Bobby Lashley. But unfortunately, most of the second half of the match, Bobby Lashley just dominated and he came away with the win. Sucks to say that that Keith Lee had to lose, and I kind of thought they could have had him return and maybe won and got, even though I'm not a fan of champions losing clean, and won and got a world title shot at SummerSlam. But if they want to save that match, because a lot of people think, and I agree too, that if it's not Big E, Keith Lee should be the one to dethrone Bobby Lashley. But it's like he already lost to him here, and it was just like, okay, you could have had him face someone else in his return match, but, it was still, a nice pop, a nice surprise, but, that wasn't the worst part. The worst part after, even though he got a big pop, we got the return of Goldberg. Goldberg came out, got in Lashley's face, started laughing, just said, "I'm next!" And of course, as he's making his way down to the ring, he's fixing his watch. Why is Goldberg, I'm sorry, Goldberg, but why is every time you come out, something's always screwed up? You're always fixing your watch, you're either headbutting and busting your head open, you're botching, jackhammers or whatnot against The Undertaker. I'm sorry. So, but yeah, we're getting Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg at SummerSlam instead of Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. And why? Because, I thought at first it was because I heard Brock didn't want to come back and lose. But it's more so that WWE doesn't want Brock Lesnar to put over Bobby Lashley because they want to make Brock Lesnar looking strong for an upcoming match with Roman freaking Reigns. You listen to me right now. Vince McMahon. I don't care if Roman Reigns is a heel. I don't care if Roman Reigns has a fresh gimmick that fits him. I saw enough of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in 2018. That feud made me feel like it was a stinking lockdown. You were not going to do anything else until Roman Reigns had that big moment and that big pop, and it still did not happen. You tried to nerf it by having Braun Strowman at ringside with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and that didn't work. And also, don't forget this too. You think Brock losing to Bobby Lashley is not good, remember, Bobby Lashley beat. Okay, I'm setting this microphone back down. Does anyone remember that Bobby Lashley beat Roman Reigns clean at Extreme Rules 2018? Remember, Bobby Lashley beat this so-called person that no one else is supposed to be beating, Roman Reigns, clean at Extreme Rules 2018. That should have given Bobby Lashley the opportunity against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2018. Instead, what do they freaking do? They literally have him compete in a triple threat match, and Roman Reigns compete in a triple threat match. Winners faced each other the following week on Raw, which is Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. Roman Reigns wins, and despite he had how many chances and even lost at Extreme Rules, they still basically act like that win against Roman at Extreme Rules meant absolutely freaking nothing, and he didn't get it there. So when you have Bobby Lashley on the run of his career, and you can't have him face Brock Lesnar here, which is the best time to do it. Both of them are in their mid-40s. You know, Bobby Lashley's still looking great. Brock Lesnar, not too bad, but you could tell the last couple times, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen him, but the last few times, he was starting to get, a little bit up there. But that is literally one of the best matches you can do with Brock right now. Besides, like, him, again, I will take Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar and Keith Lee, and Brock Lesnar and Big E. Those are 4 matches I will take right there. But instead, you're scared. You're scared to have Brock Lesnar put over Bobby Lashley because you want Brock Lesnar to look at his best for when Roman Reigns beats him. Roman Reigns, for crying out loud, is on a whole nother level right now. You don't even have to have him face Brock Lesnar to prove a point. You don't need that. So now you're saying that Bobby, you want to have another match, another go, because you want to have that big 5-star classic, even though he didn't win it. Obviously, the best match that Roman and Brock had was at WrestleMania 31. Again, you're so obsessed with that match, you gotta do it again. You're not getting it all, Vince, but no, you can't have Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar. Instead, you're giving him to Goldberg? Okay, here's the thing first off. I can at least say this is whatever at this point, because I was worried they were going to do Goldberg because they wanted, since Drew McIntyre cannot challenge. Looks like Robbie sent me something. Hang on here. It looks like Samoa Joe going, "Oh, Wendy!" Yes. Is this because I'm getting hot and I'm just grabbing the microphone and just getting steamy hot and wanting to tear someone apart here? I don't know, but my thing was, first off, is the biggest thing that worried me about, well, okay, hang on, here comes Robbie again. Oh man, is that Robbie One Kenobi? Call me out right now, brother. Call me out. Don't worry, Robbie. I have not forgotten about that stream again. Just my schedule's just nuts, but I promise you, man, it's gonna happen. I promise you, man. Fantasy booking is gonna happen at some point. But anyways, getting back to it. The biggest concern I had about Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, it was just the way to have Goldberg get the heat by beating Bobby Lashley and being able to give Drew McIntyre's moment. Again, that's not the best thing to do, but that's not going to happen now. So this is what it is. But still, how is Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg going to do anything for Bobby Lashley? Goldberg's like 55 now. He botched the crap out of his match with The Undertaker. Excuse me. And, again, his matches aren't even good. I mean, again, I'm glad he got to come back in 2016. I'm glad he got to, erase that bad taste. But now he's just overstaying his welcome. And plus two, why is every time he comes back, he's challenging for a title? That he's either beating someone who shouldn't be losing to him, or he's losing. He's just there to put, he came back to fight Goldberg Goldberg came back to fight Goldberg. Wow. He came back to fight Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble, and what did it do for Drew? Yes, he beat Goldberg, but he beat an old man.
Mike, it felt so good to do that, because when's the last time I joined you for one of your live streams, or at least tuned in to watch it, with how things have been going these last few weeks. But I do want to say, I know you got that fantasy booking bug that's been itching at you ever since you wanted to pitch Mako Satomura versus Io Shirai.
Still want that.
I like that fire, buddy. I like that passion. So this is a little challenge from me to you. I challenge you, Mr. The Club of the Man 1993, to do your best fantasy booking video of Eva Marie as Raw Women's Champion. Hashtag Evolution.
Oh, man. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I, honest to God, thought if they were going to do Eva Marie as Raw Women's Champion, I honestly thought, especially, to get things going with this thing with Piper Niven, even though I'm sure Vince McMahon just loves it when they say, Dewdrop. Dewdrop. Or he must love how Alexa Bliss says, Dewdrop. Dewdrop. Because that honestly would have kept, the story more interesting, honestly. I mean, Eva Marie being Raw Women's Champion would be a best way to help make Piper Niven a babyface. But the thing a little more long term, not just saying, to eventually make Piper Niven a babyface. I gotta think that one out. But honestly, again, it would not be, if it helped, make Piper Niven a big star, it wouldn't be bad. But thank you, as always, Robbie. You're a genius, my friend, and that's why we like you. But yeah, so Goldberg and Bobby Lashley. I don't care. I mean, I can at least live with the fact that it's going to put over Bobby Lashley. I hope. Remember, that was not the case with The Fiend. Well, it's not WrestleMania season, but you still never know. They could still screw over Bobby Lashley and have him lose to Goldberg, which I don't want to see happen. So, I'm not as worried, but I still don't want to see that match. I wish it was Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. We're getting Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. We also have a segment with Jinder Mahal talking about, just trashing on Drew McIntyre, how they're taking opportunities away from each other. And then he starts trying to sing Happy Birthday. Out of nowhere comes Drew McIntyre and just whacks Jinder with a steel chair. Jinder and Veer roll out of the ring. They basically leave Shanky to try to, fend off Drew. But Drew snaps. He, whoops the hell out of Shanky with a steel chair. Enough that it breaks. He stares down Jinder. The crowd actually enjoyed it. They were cheering for Drew, which, like I said, now that they're backing off on him, there's no reason to boo Drew now. He's, taking it like a man. He's taking a breather. But like I said, his time getting that big moment he should be getting in front of fans will come. He steps out, he grabs another steel chair, and just literally hits like how many chair shots on Shanky, and yeah. So that's that. Like I said, this feud with Jinder and Drew, it is what it is. Like I said, it keeps Drew away from the title picture. Yes, there's been some super, super, super terrible promos, such as him telling the story of the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster, which, is literally a Roman Reigns and Jack and the Beanstalk caliber promo. But, like I said, I don't want to hate Drew. I know you guys don't want to hate Drew. So, like I said, we're backing off on him. He'll probably go to SmackDown in the draft. And if he does, fine. Biggest thing is he just needs to stay out of the way of the people whose turn is it now for the opportunities. But we'll see what happens. So, yeah, Drew does that. Alright. Get the water in there. We're 37 minutes in, but we ain't done yet. Let's talk about the biggest thing that made me feel so good coming out of this episode of Raw. So, we were told that there was going to be a big debut happening on Raw this week. And even before the person was revealed, that person was just advertised a couple times throughout the night. And that is the current NXT champion, Karrion Kross. And I'm like, oh boy, here it goes. You already hear the rumors. They do not want to have him with Lady Scarlett. Check. Because he came out with no Scarlett. He then comes out to a bland entrance. Check. No smoke. He literally just stood there going like, swaying back and forth, close up, going like this, and then just, a little bit of dark lights, but dark came on, and then just, his Tron was ever. It was so bland. So bland compared to what his entrance in NXT is. And he literally came out to no reaction. Problem is Karrion Kross is one of those talents that literally just got built up. He was away with an injury for 4 months, but he literally came in with no fans around. Now, people who, watch wrestling outside of WWE, besides AEW, of course, probably know who Karrion Kross is. Karrion Kross, Killer Kross. Again, they know who he is. So they know him, but there's still a lot of people that don't know who he is. So even though they try to give him a monster push, like a Brock Lesnar or a Goldberg push in NXT, his injury, hampered it a little bit. And, again, a lot of people just don't know him. So we don't know how they're going to react. But him coming in with this bland entrance is one thing. And getting no reaction, that isn't good. But then here comes his opponent, Jeff Hardy. Which, first off, WWE did live up to one of their promises. He re-signed. When fans came back, he got his No More Words theme song back. That was cool to see. Again, I never seen that theme music, live since I didn't start watching until 2013. So that was cool. But I'm thinking, geez, this so sucks. Jeff Hardy gets no words back, yet he's going to be out here jobbing to Karrion Kross. That's all he does anymore, is he jobs to people. Well, the match happens. Kross gets a little bit of offense in. Little bit. And then Jeff Hardy hits the twist of fate on him. And he's getting ready to set up for a Swanton Bomb. And I'm like, wait a minute. They're not going to have Karrion Kross lose to Jeff Hardy in his main roster debut, are they? Are they really that dumb? He goes to the Swanton Bomb. Cross rolls out of the way, and I'm like, whew, okay. They teased me there. Not even a second later, I was literally about to tweet out that, oh boy, they teased me there big time. They got me good. They fooled me. WWE actually making me think that Karrion Kross is going to lose to Jeff Hardy in his main roster debut. I didn't get to finish out tweeting the tweet, and he did. Jeff Hardy rolled up Karrion Kross, put his feet on the ropes, and pinned him. 1, 2, 3. Let me read that one more time. One more time. Jeff Hardy, who has been jobbing since he re-signed his contract, dropped the IC title, and was drafted to Raw last fall, has lost how many matches in a row? Beats Karrion Kross by cheating too, and putting both feet on the ropes. Karrion Kross loses his first match on the main roster. Why? So, you go down to NXT, scout out talent, give them tryout matches on main event, and you bring possibly the biggest one that needs the most protection right now. Your very own NXT champion, who is undefeated, squashed Tommaso Ciampa in his in-ring debut last summer, beat Keith Lee for the title, beat Finn Balor, is about to go head-to-head with Samoa Joe at whatever they're calling their takeover next month, and you lose to Jeff Hardy in your main roster debut! And he's your freaking NXT champion! It'd be one thing if he just lost to him in his first match. Yes, that would have been bad. Yet had him lose as the NXT champion. Vince, what the fuck were you thinking? No, I know what that was. That's just literally a huge backlash that's saying, I don't care about NXT. I'm gonna bury that roster down there. And you know what, Vince? You did. You basically gave a big F-U to NXT with this. Afterwards, they have Cross interviewed saying, oh, how do you feel about your first loss? Jeff Hardy just made the biggest mistake of his life. Oh, yeah, so now people want to take you seriously now? He beat you? Oh, I'm a big bad monster. I'm coming for you now. No, you're a loser. You're a loser. You lost to someone who literally has been a freaking... I'm trying not to be super loud because I know my sister's probably getting ready to go to bed next door. But you lost to someone who's been a freaking jobber for months. I don't care if he's a future Hall of Famer. Yes, I love Jeff Hardy. Yes, he is a Hall of Famer. But at this point in his career, he's worn up. He's a no-name, basically, because they treated him like crap, and he should not have re-signed with the company. Plus, two, he goes way out of character and cheats to win. I don't care who he is, cheated or not, Karrion Kross should not be losing his main roster debut, especially as NXT champion. He's the freaking Goldberg, the freaking Brock Lesnar of NXT, and he loses to, of all people, Jeff Hardy. That literally told me right there, you know, I know I've been saying for a while especially with, some people like overstaying their welcome, like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and a few others that, maybe they should consider going to the main roster because there's nothing else to do in NXT. No. If you have nothing else to do in NXT, then go somewhere else. Like, if you've overstayed your welcome, done all you can in NXT and ready to move on to something else, go to AEW, go to Impact, go to ROH, go anywhere. Because if Karrion Kross, as NXT champion, is losing to Jeff Hardy in his main roster debut, nobody's safe. Nobody is safe. Not Bronson Reed, not Tony Storm, not Adam Cole, not Johnny Gargano. This is probably one of the worst things they did since they had Charlotte lose in her first main roster match to Natalya several years ago. This is completely uncalled for, completely unacceptable, and it made me so angry. Like, so angry that I didn't even watch NXT tonight. Because now it's like, okay, why should I be excited for Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe? His streak is over. He's no longer unbeatable. I mean, yes, Samoa Joe could be believable to beat Karrion Kross, but you made him look like another guy. Just another guy. Not unique, not at all. You had your NXT champion lose to Jeff Hardy on your main roster debut. Who in God's name thought that was a good idea? Vince. Vince thought that was a brilliant idea because that's him basically giving the middle finger to NXT. If you're going to bring stars up and do that, I don't want to hear you whining saying, but we're losing star power. We need new people on the roster. We need fresh stars. Yeah, you bring fresh stars in and you bury them. How am I supposed to trust you're supposed to book Finn Balor right again back on SmackDown? How am I supposed to trust, if you're going to bring up Adam Cole after SummerSlam, you're going to book him right? How am I supposed to trust they're going to book Tony Storm when he debut her on SmackDown? After this one right here, I have no faith in anyone coming up to that main roster from NXT. Nobody. Not even Io Shirai. Not even, anyone. Nobody at this point should be coming up to the main roster if they're going to do what they did to Karrion Kross. I was so mad. Like I said, I was so mad that I didn't even watch NXT tonight. I've lost interest again because of this. They can't pretend this never happened. It happened. Karrion Kross lost to Jeff Hardy in his main roster debut. That is completely unacceptable. Big F you to Vince. We had that. Then we had a segment with Alexa Bliss's Playground. Lily's brought back. Eva Marie and Doudrop come around with Eva insulting Bliss and then Lily, but Bliss suggests to putting Doudrop in timeout instead of Lily. So Marie's like, no, we're going to get out of here. But as she goes, she trips right by Lily's swing. Obviously showing that Lily apparently tripped her, which again looked fake as hell. As everything just looks fake as hell with this Alexa Bliss thing. So yeah, there's that. Then we had the main event. Main event, I'm just like, please, give me something to be excited about from this show. I mean, yes, I'm excited Keith Lee's back, but he lost in his first match back. Like I said, I mean, yes, he had a good showing, but, he still lost. To me, they should have kept him and Lashley far away from each other until, like, WrestleMania, when hopefully Keith Lee be the one to dethrone Bobby Lashley. Or Big E. So then I'm thinking, okay, to save the show by having Becky Lynch returning at this main event. That's why this is the main event, right? Right? Mark even warned me, don't get your hopes up. And dear Lord, was he right. And I'm sorry, Mark, that I didn't listen to you. All I can say is, this match happened, And when Rhea Ripley went to put the figure 8 on Charlotte and Charlotte broke free, she grabbed the title to run, and Rhea chases after her, and Charlotte turns around, hits her with the title, and gets disqualified. And then Charlotte celebrates, then Rhea beats down on Charlotte, hits her with a riptide on the outside of the ring. And then music hits. It's not Becky Lynch, it's Miss Money in the Bank, Nikki A.S.H. or Nikki A.S.H. Nikki A.S.H. Nikki A.S.H. She runs down, cashes in her Money in the Bank briefcase, does a lame looking crossbody on Charlotte Flair. 1, 2, 3, Nikki A.S.H. Nikki A.S.H. Superhero Nikki, whatever you want to call her, is now your Raw Women's Champion. Really? Really? You literally wore the craziness out of Nikki Cross. Wore the craziness out of her. Made her a bland jobber that nobody cared about. And then she becomes Super Nikki. Or Nikki A.S.H. Almost a superhero. And yes, you can say all you want. Vince can praise Nikki saying this is her idea. No, this was Nikki Cross stooping down to Vince's level, thinking how Vince would think, coming up with something like this. Like I said in my Money in the Bank review, this is basically exactly what Vince wanted to see guys like the Revival do. Wear some stupid, children's costumes to, appeal to the young audience. Vince thinks that Nikki's getting it, thinking outside the box. No, Nikki's not thinking outside the box. Nikki's just thinking like how Vince McMahon would think. This superhero gimmick is just so dumb. I don't like it. I'm sorry, I do not. To me, again, it's just, it appeals to the kids. No! This show is not a damn kid show! I've been saying that for how long? Your dynamic is either all the way up here being edgy, or all the way down here for the 5-year-olds. And that's what this felt like. This is not... And I feel bad saying this, because I love Nikki Cross. Again, like I said in my Money in the Bank review, she was like my number 3 or 4 ranked wrestler in WWE for 2018. They bring her up to the main roster, and they literally just wear the craziness off of her. And make her into just a child's play toy. Just like they do with everyone else. Just like they did with Braun Strowman. Just like they've done with Drew McIntyre's sword. They did that with Roman Reigns and he was a face. Yet he somehow recovered when they finally woke up and said, fine, we'll turn him heel. And so many others they literally made into child's play toys. You are a toy! Yes, I literally quoted Toy Story there. But that's all it feels like. So, when you had Nikki Cross at her best, you tore her down. You made her into something that you wanted to make her be because you hate how NXT creates stars. And once she's something that you wanted them to be, then you get the title when nobody cares because your creative ideas suck. This is just a big slap in the face. Who on earth, again, wants to see the way they booked Nikki Cross? Who on earth wants to see her headline SummerSlam as Raw Women's Champion? Honestly, whatever match she has, her and Charlotte and Rhea, put it on the pre-show. They were able to put Charlotte Flair on the pre-show when she was Women's Tag Team Champion. Put this match on the pre-show too, if you're going to have it. I'm serious. If I would do my card predictions, it's probably going to be Nikki, Charlotte, and Rhea, because, she's beaten them both recently also, even before she cashed in and became champion. I'm putting that match on the pre-show. It's going on the pre-show. That needs to be on the pre-show. I don't care who, if, and, or what, or but has to be about it. That is just not a SummerSlam match at all. So, yep. This graphic's going to be changing again because Nikki A.S.H. or Nikki A.S.H., almost a superhero, is now your Raw Women's Champion. I wish it was Twisted Sister Nikki Cross as Raw Women's Champion, as she deserves, but instead, no, we got this. So yeah, that's my Raw review. One of my longest Raw reviews I've done in quite a while. And I gave this show a D plus. A D plus. Most of the stuff on the show just was what it was. But from Nikki Cross cashing in to Goldberg's return to Karrion Kross's disaster of a Raw debut, this was just a horrible. This was just a horrible show to start to bring back fans. I can't believe WWE actually thought this was a good idea. So that's my review. Live chat before we go off the air here. We have Tyler saying how the ending was stupid. Keith Lee got buried by Lashley, D+. Robbie's calling this MRW, Mike Ruggiero Wrestling. Hashtag this is awesome. Thank you, Robbie. WWE gave up on NXT. No, Vince McMahon just sabotaged NXT. Vince needs to step down, definitely. Us fans could have booked a better show, that's definitely. And then Robbie goes, Nikki ass, basically. Tyler can't wait to see Raw ratings go to an all-time low, and I hope it does. And Raw does not deserve a grade. I gave it a D+. That's my grade. That's my review and my rant on Raw. It's 12:05. I'm going to bed. I have to work tomorrow. So I guess I'll watch the highlights for NXT. But I've lost so much interest because of what they did with Karrion Kross. I'll review it tomorrow. And if I have time, I will also review Fyter Fest. So I'll watch night 2 tomorrow and review both nights as well. Try to get caught up. Well, Friday night I'm going to be at my girlfriend's because I'm going to be staying over to help her get ready for her brother's wedding on Saturday. And so I probably won't be reviewing SmackDown until most likely Sunday. I'm going to try to get my SummerSlam card predictions out quickly as well. So that does it, guys. That's my review on I'm saying the wrong thing. Monday Night Raw. And yes, WWE doesn't deserve hit Robbie. Only NXT, AEW, Impact Wrestling do. Anywhere but WWE deserves Robbie. Robbie does not deserve to go to work and be treated like shit for the great mind, the creative mind he has. So yeah, Robbie, don't be a Zelina Vega and go to WWE. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. I'm checking out. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Guys, D+ for Raw. What are your thoughts on this first Raw back in front of fans? What are your thoughts on Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg? What are your thoughts on them screwing over Karrion Kross in this main Raw debut? What are your thoughts on Nikki A.S.H. winning the Raw Women's Championship? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBond93. And as always, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys next time. And good night, everybody. Peace out, everybody.